Is there any kind of cannibalism that goes on in the Amazon still?
Probably, but none that I know of. But there are still some uncontacted tribes, and there are still tribes that behave one way when foreigners are around and another way when they're not.
Really?
I have a friend, she died last year, but she was a missionary among those people from the 50s. So she remembers the cannibalism. And she told me, although some anthropologists deny this, but I think she knows them better than any anthropologist who's ever been there, that she said, I think when nobody's around, they still do that.
Yeah.
So
I bet they do too.
They don't have warfare.
Listen to someone else. They don't have warfare.
Not anymore. They did, but that's been stopped, and they're isolated from other groups that they used to be enemies with. But there's still some who believe the old-time religion, and the old-time religion says, eat your dead, So it's quite possible that it happens. But what you find is that since the 80s, most of the groups that have regular contact with the outside have undergone a very rapid process of enculturation into Brazilian society. So even among the Pirahãs now, in the decade since I was there regularly, I see pictures of them because my ex-wife still lives right next to them. And she sends me short videos and pictures of them when they come up to her little wooden shack on the Trans-Amazon Highway by their river. And they're dressing very differently now. And some of them are speaking some Portuguese. Not very well, but they're speaking some Portuguese.
And your ex-wife is still a missionary?
Yeah, she's still trying to convert them. No conversions. They're not going to convert.
Boy, you got to give it up to her for having, stick-to-itiveness. I mean, that's really determined.
She is absolutely a New Testament first-century Christian in terms of her faith.
Wow.
And she doesn't deviate, and she's not afraid of anything. I mean, we've been in many life-threatening situations, and I don't tend to get afraid, and she definitely is not afraid, not ever.
So is that because of her belief, that she believes that God is looking out for her, and if she dies, she's going to go to heaven anyway?
Yeah, that a common refrain among Christian missionaries is, I'm immortal until my task is done. God will protect me until he's done with me. And so if he's not done with me, I don't have to worry about it. And if he is, great.
Wow. There's a lot of power in that, too. I mean, how many people just live in this constant state of existential angst?
Yeah, that's something she's never had.
Wow.
She doesn't have that.
There's a lot of value to that.
It's what attracted me to her so much, besides the fact that she was really cute, that attracted me to her a lot when we first met.
Were you bummed out when she wanted a divorce because you lost your faith?
Well, by that time, we weren't getting along that well because she's very she's not anti-science per se, but she's anti-helicopter science. She feels that too many people who do studies of indigenous groups and languages come in for a short time, go out, and just speak a lot of bullshit that nobody's ever going to test. And so she hates that. And she's seen it happen with the Pirahã. I've seen it happen with the Pirahã. I've seen a couple of anthropologists and linguists go in and do doctoral dissertations on them that are totally ridiculous. But if I say something, I'm a gringo. And I'm jealous because it disagrees with me.
Do you think that they do that because no one's going to check, and so they just say, I want to just write whatever I want to write?
That does happen. That definitely happens. It's also because people realize that it sounds really good to go study an indigenous culture or an indigenous language. When you get there and you find out, this is so damn hard, I have no words to put in how hard this is.
So they bullshit.
Yeah, because, you want to say to a Pirahã, what is this? And so how do you ask that? Well, the phrase in Pirahã is, but where do you get that phrase? You can't ask somebody how to ask, what is this?
Right.
If you don't know the language. So you have to watch them very carefully, and somebody might get something new, or you might even give them something new that they've never seen, hoping somebody's going to ask them, what is this? So you can write it down and then test it, and that's how I got it.
And so now you're fluent in Pirahã.
Yes.
So you can go and have a conversation with them, so you can explore some of these more nuanced subjects and do it in their language.
Yes.
So you can kind of translate things in a way that they're going to understand what you're saying.
Yes, and that's what takes the most practice. So when I first translated the Gospel of Mark into Piraha, I thought I had done a marvelous job. And I would read bits out to the Piraha, and they could explain it to me, and it seemed like they were understanding it. But I used a grammar that was largely based on English. So when I read to them large sections, they were totally lost. They couldn't understand it at all. And what does that mean? It means I got it wrong. It means that I haven't figured out the language as well as I thought I did. And that's very humbling when you've spent so many years trying to do it. So I had to start from the ground up again. And these are all, before you can learn a language, you have to murder it. And before you can carry on a conversation, you just feel like an idiot for years. And for one thing, people who go in to do a PhD dissertation on a language like this are going to take 1 to 2 years of their life, and that's it. And that's not enough time. It takes a year to get fluent in the language, and I know many people who've written about many different Amazonian languages who can't speak a word of the language or speak very little of it. They'll tell people they speak it, but you go with them and you realize they don't speak it that well. So if you don't speak it that well, how can you ask them to distinguish subtle meaning differences? You can't. And that means that a lot of, this kind of field work, which is so vital, is not as reliable as we would like to think it is.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Especially if a young student is coming along and they're interested in pursuing it further, and they're starting off with some faulty assumptions.
Yes, and the other problem is people learn a theory in graduate school, and they take it as their job of their dissertation, and this isn't limited to just linguistics and anthropology, but they take it as the job of their dissertation to support that theory. So, it's like Paul Simon says, a man sees what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. When you're trying to do theoretical research, field research shouldn't be that theoretically motivated. It should be basically descriptive, and then you can do the theory later. But most people bring the theory into it, and you can't totally divorce those two. But you see a fact. So, for example, I've worked with Piraha, and I'm asking for a certain kind of data. And they don't give me what I wanted. And I thought, this guy's not giving me what I want. What's wrong with him? What am I saying wrong? What, is he stupid? And then as I learned to speak the language better, I realized, he's giving me exactly what I needed, and I was too stupid to know it. And so that's hard. You're the one working for the PhD. He's just a hunter-gatherer, and it turns out he's at least as smart as you are, and often he's able to know what you need better than you do. And that's another part of the humbling experience of doing field research.
Wow. The amount of commitment that's involved in going as deep as you went with this is really crazy.